Good evening, everyone. Yay. Thank you all for coming to the Solutions for Change graduation 2024. I'm Dennis Bone, and I'm the Executive VP at Solutions and also the chaplain. And before Chris comes to officially welcome you and give some opening remarks, I'm going to lead us in prayer, invocation. So please bow your heads with me in prayer. Our Father and our God, we ask you for your presence and for your blessing upon us this evening as we come to celebrate the graduation of 6 students from Solutions for Change Academy. Tonight we recognize their commitment to hard work and change, and we rejoice in the transformation that has occurred in their lives, in the lives of their children. Lord, we thank you that you're a God of grace, mercy, and compassion. You do not give up on people. You see all of us created in your image, whom you've blessed with gifts, talents, and potential to serve and to make an impact in this life. You offer redemption and transformation to those who have lost their way in life, who have lost hope at times and direction for many different reasons, and who need and want to find meaning and purpose and permanent solutions for themselves and their kids. Lord, we thank you for the vision, commitment, and resources provided to us at Solutions for Change to come alongside these families and to provide them support and to work together for true and lasting change. We're grateful for our staff, for the community of volunteers and donors who've invested their time, talents, gifts, and resources to encourage, inspire, and equip our families to transform their lives. Lord, we ask your blessing tonight upon this joyous celebration of achievement and success. We thank you for each one who comes tonight to speak about their journey, for their courage to change, for their willingness to ask for help, for their hard work and continual effort to make this process of transformation happen and continue to happen in their lives. May your powerful and compassionate hand guide us in this time together so that the celebration will be one of joy and inspiration for all of us. In the name of Christ our Savior, I pray these things. Amen. Introduce Chris.
Good evening. Tears were streaming down her face. She was sitting in the corner of our first winter shelter that we opened in December of 1999. I had just met her daughter, Jessica. Most of you have heard that story. The story of the 9-year-old girl who very innocently pulled on my sleeve and a very sweet voice asked me if I lived in the winter shelter on the floor with her and her mom and her baby sister. And so I sat down next to her mom, Sarah, and the tears was just rolling down her cheeks. And I put my hand on her shoulder and I asked her, "What's going on?" It took her about 15 seconds to answer my question, and she just said, "I just feel so ashamed that I'm here living in this shelter with my daughters." And she had her 6-month-old right next to her who was sleeping. And I said, "So tell me, are you ready?" And for about the next 15 minutes or so, we had a conversation about her talking to this guy that she had never met before, sitting on the floor of an emergency winter shelter in Vista, right down the road here at All Saints Episcopal Church 25 years ago. And she said, "I'll do whatever it takes." She said, "I'm done. I can't live like this anymore." She was describing the hell that she was in, that her disease of meth addiction had completely taken over her life and destroyed everything that she held dear. She goes, "The only thing it can take, the only thing left," she goes, "I'm not even sure, Chris, if I really care if I die. I just don't want to lose my kids. And so that was the beginning 25 years ago of a promise. So I made a promise to her daughter, Jessica, when she yanked on my sleeve and asked me if I lived in the shelter too. And I got down on one knee and I said, sweetheart, I don't live here, but I'm going to make you a promise. We're going to get you out of here, and we're going to get you back into a home. And you know how kids are pretty resilient? Like, she knew she wasn't supposed to be there, but some of the kids that came in, it's like, well, this is like a camping trip, kind of a bizarre camping trip. But she knew she wasn't supposed to be there. And so she teared up, Jessica did, and I teared up. And in that instant, we gave each other a hug. And that 9-year-old girl launched what I say is a movement. And still today I say is a movement. So we're not I know we're a nonprofit according to the IRS. And, we do what we do as an organization. But I see Solutions for Change, and I've seen it as this for a quarter century, that we are a movement. We are people between, there's the people of Solutions for Change that get up, suit up, and show up every day. And then there is this amazing community of supporters and donors and volunteers and people that just keeps coming in and helping us. And in between those two communities, us and our bigger community, there are the families of Solutions for Change who, like Sarah, said, I'm ready. Let's do whatever it takes. We have 6 moms here tonight that was asked that question back about 2 years ago. We asked them, I met with each one of them when they first came in, and really the question was, are you ready? Because what we're going to do over the next 2 years is going to change everything. It'll change all of it. Are you ready to change all of it? And of course, most of them are just like wide-eyed looking at me like, who's this crazy dude here that I've never met before talking about changing everything? Is that kind of like how it was? A little bit. And so for the last 2 years, these 6 moms representing their children have put everything into rebuilding their lives. And tonight you're going to hear about their stories, about how they've overcome, what they have done for themselves and their kids. But also I love the story of Solutions for Change, because yes, we're celebrating them. That's this amazing accomplishment, this amazing achievement that they have pulled off here for their lives. But we use this slogan, we say it's, we are one us. The shortened version of it is just one us. And the tagline to that is, when the least of us are equipped and supported and empowered, they become the best of us, and together we're one us. The least of us with the rest of us becoming one us. And I was interviewed earlier by NBC, and I closed when they said, what's the special thing about Solutions for Change? And I said, it's like we're one us. Like all this stuff in our society today, the division, all the stuff, right? And here we are. We get. So I'm just want to say thank you before all the greatness which is you here show up, for allowing me to come alongside of each one of you and being part of this amazing, incredible transformation, and you just allowing me to be part of that. It's like I get to be part of that. Like, how amazingly cool is that? Like, I remember each one of you coming in, and just like, some of you were kind of a little shot out, like Tara was a little bit more shot out than the rest of you, And, it's just like I get to be part of that, And this evening, we all get to be part of that. We get to be part of their journey over the last couple of years and to where they're at today and celebrating this amazing, amazing accomplishment that each one of you here have worked so hard. You have worked so hard to be here tonight. And the delta between where you were and where you are now, especially Tara, no. She knows I'm not picking on her. But it's like people that are here for the first time and really like going to hear your story and see that you're going to cry. There's plenty of tissues around here, by the way. I would grab a box. I've seen the steps and seen the movement and seen you grow. So for me, it's like amazing. But for others that are maybe seeing it for the first time, they're going to see it. They're going to hear from. You're going to hear from each one of them. They're going to share the beautiful rawness of their transformation. You're going to hear things that you typically just don't hear people get up in front of strangers and share. You're going to hear that tonight, and there's so much pride and so much confidence, that comes from their stories. So I'm really excited that each one of you are here tonight. I'd like to recognize a few people. First off, if you just, generally, like there's volunteers that we have here and supporters, and I always ask you to stand up, and then nobody wants to stand up. So, but I know that there's a dozen or a couple dozen or quite a few that are here tonight that support Solutions for Change, and I just want to say thank you for being part of this effort, our mission, and thank you for coming. If you'd like to stand up, we'll clap for you. So if you support Solutions for Change, there are two board members here tonight. Chris Chen and John Conrad are here tonight. John. Chris is in the shadows over there. He's the obscure guy. We also have the San Marcos Mayor, Rebecca Jones. She's right over here, and representing Congressman Mike Levin, his office, we have Jessica Ramirez that's here. I appreciate Jessica being here. Seriously, if you're not sitting next to a box of Kleenexes, you want to make your move now. So we're going to move into the recognition part, and I'd like to ask our Vice President of Transformational Impact, Jennifer Pankey, to come up and lead us through that. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Thank you all for being here again. I can't tell you how important it is to have family support and how hard these women have fought for every inch that they have gained. They're 6 beautiful, beautiful souls who have looked at themselves so raw and honestly that they have been able to completely transform not only their lives, but the lives of their children. And that transcends, and we're breaking that generational curse. And I cannot tell you how amazing and what a blessing it is to be able to work with them, alongside them. So I have the tissue, and of course our first presenter tonight is Tara Bender.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tara Bender, and on March 8th, 2022, I walked into Solutions for Change not knowing that this place would become the turning point in my life. I'm a mother of 4 beautiful children, Ariana, Tavian, Kiara, and Chloe Bender, ranging in ages from 24 to 2 years old. My journey as a mother started young, and with that came some poor decisions. Decisions that led me down a path of heavy drinking, domestic violence, and ultimately losing my children in 2005. That loss felt like the beginning of the end for me. What followed was years of incarceration, street life, and a severe addiction to alcohol and drugs. I ran from my pain, numbing myself wherever I went. I hadn't seen my oldest 3 children for over a decade. I couldn't even recognize them if I tried. I wasn't living, I was merely existing, trapped in a cycle of addiction and despair. Near death more times than I can count, and more than 10 years in and out of prison. I often thought about ending it all, but never had the courage to pull the trigger. Alcoholism runs deep in my family, and though I never thought it would happen to me, I learned the hard way that if you keep playing with fire, you will get burned. My heart was broken in ways that I can't even begin to explain. And though I believed in God, I never had a personal relationship with him. How could he love a drunk who lost her children? In the last 3 years of my addiction, I was drinking half a gallon of vodka just to stop my shakes. I was sick, homeless, living in cars or motels, surrounded by people who didn't care whether I ever saw my kids again. I hated everyone, but deep down, I hated myself the most. I hit rock bottom during my last prison term when 5 male officers beat me up. I had huge civil rights lawsuits, and the winning could have changed my life financially. But my addiction had such a grip on me that I couldn't even make it to the court dates. 4 years of working on that, I lost the lawsuit. But a week later, I found out I was pregnant. At first, I thought it was a cruel joke God was playing on me, but it was true. I was gonna have a baby. Alone and terrified, I knew I had to stop drinking or I would lose this child too. I went to the hospital and medically detoxed. After that, I entered a 90-day rehab program, and when my baby was born, I knew I had to change. The father of my child relapsed on drugs when she was a week old, and I realized I could not relive my past. I took my daughter and I went to my sister's house, never returning to that toxic relationship again. God gave me a chance to be a mommy, and I wasn't gonna waste it. 3 weeks later, I entered Solutions for Change. At first, I struggled with the idea of having to go to a program after already getting clean and having a baby, but it turned out to be the best decision I've ever made. Solutions for Change gave me the accountability I needed through their employment-related training. I learned the value of getting up every day and going to work. It wasn't easy, but with the support of people like Tina, Krista, Brittany, Dennis, Shannon, Lilia, Justine, Corinne, Monica, and Jamie. Happy birthday, Jamie. And my GED teacher that is here, Miss Kathy Boyd, I made it through. The classes taught me so much, from emotional intelligence that explained to me about self-awareness, self-regulation, which helps me in my personal as well as work life be productive. Servant leadership class equipped me with the mindset and skills that prioritizes the needs of others, builds strong relationships, and fosters a positive, productive environment. Building better boundaries, I learned there are different types of boundaries and how to recognize them when they're being crossed, for self and for others. Career readiness taught me how to make an efficient resume, interview skills, as well as a career advancement so my skills can stand out. And parenting class helped me learn different positive discipline and conflict resolution, as well as effective communication. I apply what I learned at Solutions every day. Solutions for Change gave me a drug-free, stable environment to rebuild my life. And since coming here, I have regained a relationship with all of my children. I'm even going to be a part of my oldest daughter's journey through her pregnancy. Congratulations, Ariana, I love you. Today, I stand here with over 3 years of sobriety. I have contact with all my adult children, and I'm a present mother who loves every moment of it. I earned my GED after 28 years of being out of school. My entire criminal record is sealed, and I'm a certified peer support specialist working in mental health services at North Star Act. I'm enrolled in Miracosta College to further my education and eventually receive a bachelor's in social services or psychology. My credit score has gone from 480 to over 650, and I have an actual savings account. I have a new car, and I have secured a 2-bedroom apartment 6 blocks away from the ocean. How good is God? I am now able to be a good sister to my best friend, my sister Christelle. I love you so very much, and thank you for being the best big sister. My mother that flew down from Colorado, I love you, Mom, and thank you for never giving up on me. My brother-in-law, Sami, for loving and providing for my daughter as your own. Thank you for giving my baby a daddy. My stepfather that flew down from the Colorado, thank you for believing change is possible and being a grandpa to my baby. And my Aunt Donna for being my biggest cheerleader. My niece Mikkel for always believing in me. To my older kids that are in the audience, I love you so very much and always have, and I'm blessed to be able to be part of your life today. And most importantly, a strong relationship with my higher power, Jesus Christ. Through him, all things are possible. Today, I don't just live, I don't just exist, I live. Thank you, and a huge thank you for every single volunteer that takes time out of their life to give up so freely to our program, to watch our children, to bring amazing events and support Solutions for Change. It means so much to us students. My coach, Shannon, for being a role model and dealing with all my ups and downs and loving me through it all. Jennifer Pankey for all of our talks and being an example of what change really is. Thank you. Chris Magason for providing families like mine a safe place to rebuild our lives with love and acceptance. Thank you.
Wow. I mean, if you guys would have seen her when she first came in, it's pretty crazy. I'm just kidding. No. And then next, we have Amanda Carva.
Okay. She said she's gonna take a picture, so you know I'm gonna, So I wanna, I wanna start by saying that pain is inevitable and suffering is optional. And as Mr. Dennis taught us, that change is inevitable, but growth is optional. My name's Amanda Carver. I'm 37 years old, and I have one kid named Kyler, who is 2. I arrived at Solutions for Change on November 1st of 2022. I came to Solutions for Change because 20 years of active addiction to meth, alcohol, gambling, sex, and chaos had landed me in federal prison pregnant with my son, and I was desperate for a new life. I went to inpatient treatment, I went to outpatient treatment, I went to sober living, but I knew that I needed to change everything, and I needed accountability and support to continue my recovery and to be the mom that my son, Kyler, needed. I've been in and out of jail for 20 years since I was 16 when I had my first DUI. I started using and drinking at the age of 15, and alcohol and weed and meth at the age of 16. When I entered Solutions for Change, I was on federal probation and state probation with a downward departure of 54 months, which basically means that if I messed up in any way, I was going to prison, and my son was going to be raised by either my family or be put in the system. Since being here, I have learned so many things that should be taught in school that are not. I've learned to love myself, to have lasting relationships, but most importantly, just how to be a good person. My favorite classes, I can't say there was one because I love to learn, and it was everything, every class that there was. I loved emotional intelligence class because it taught me how to deal with my emotions and not create resentments, which I know can take me out. I loved parenting class because I had no idea how to be a parent. Servant leadership taught me how to talk straight, to listen first, and to be accountable. I also loved learning about boundaries, that no is a full sentence, and how they don't keep people out, but they keep me safe. Also, communications class taught me how to be confident and how to listen. But I think that that's probably the one I'll use the most, as I plan on speaking a lot in H&I and speaking to people in jail to deliver the message of hope, which I've already went to do at Kiva and the Alano Club so far. In ERT, I learned to get up, suit up, and show up. I learned how to hold a job, to give doctor's notes and notices, and to have integrity in my work, which I work really hard, Nathan. I want to thank all the staff for helping me to grow to be employable and reliable, my coach Justine for pushing me to reach my goals, Brittany Powers for running a tight ship and for pushing me with a lot of support and love and laughter, Lilia, Corinne, Tina, Darlene, Dennis, Monica, Jennifer Pankey, and Chris Magason. The love that you put into this program is why I want to build my own solution for change in Oregon. This program works, but it doesn't work without all of you. I learned that recovery is a lifelong process. I will never be cured, but I will also never be alone, because this is a we program. I want to thank my sponsor, Luann, who had everything that I wanted and helped me to get the same. She even went with me to the DMV to support me in getting my license back after waiting for 22 years. I've been suspended for 22 years. I have finished my steps and I know when to pick up the phone, and through NA and AA, I have a lot of support. To all the women from the Alano Club and the Hope Church Saturday morning meeting with daycare, thank you for loving me until I could love myself, supporting me with open arms, and taking care of Kyler so I could get recovery. Recovery is possible, and the promises are real and beyond anything I could have imagined. They want us to give 5 accomplishments, but that's saying really little about what this program actually does. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit more. I have accomplished domestic violence classes, paid off my fines, got off federal probation, and I'm almost off state probation. I am no longer on government assistance. I held a job for an entire year and quit on the day of that year because I am moving to Oregon. That's unheard of for me. I'm 38 and I've never held a job for that long. My employment history was very weak, so I also want to thank Future Stitch for the opportunity that you gave me as a multi-felon with a rap sheet and no job history. This was huge for me. What you guys are doing, hiring justice-impacted people, is the change that this world needs. I also have multiple class certifications, including parenting, servant leadership, building better boundaries, AOD, communication, financial literacy, and many more. This is my first apartment I've ever had, so now I have rental history. I have a bank account that I cried when I got, and I have saved $25,000 since being here. My credit score has went up. Yeah, financial literacy, guys, pay attention. Pay attention in that class. It'll really help you out in the future. I actually planned on buying a car, and I got gifted a car from a lady in AA because I work in my recovery. I had a lot of driving convictions and was suspended for 5 years due for running from the cops. And coming to this program allowed me to face the consequences of my actions. Things that normal people don't think are big deals, I have had to fight for. To anyone and everyone that ever helped me with rides, you don't know what that means to me. Katie, my work bestie, you always kept it real with me and held me accountable. Your help and friendship will never be forgotten. George, thank you for taking me under your wing and teaching me sales. People like me don't normally get those opportunities, and I appreciate it. You took a chance on me, and I learned a lot. The great thing is now, from everything that I've learned, I get to go help others. Something that I learned here was to be of service, and that's a priceless piece of knowledge. The greatest thing that I have got accomplished for me is the trust, respect, and love of my family. My brother Keith didn't talk to me for 8 years, and now I'm moving to Oregon to live with him. Until I find my own place, right? Because I have that money. My dad is my best friend and my daily support, and he's right over there. I just picked him up from the airport. Thank you, Dad. I love you. When I first wrote this speech, I was in Yuma taking care of my grandma, Mary Jane, who has now passed. And what a gift to be sober and present, to be able to take care of her in her last days and know that she was proud of me and that she's seen the transformation in me because of this program. When she came to visit me and I was at Solutions in the beginning, she handed me her credit card to get a motel room, and I was blown away because if I were drinking and using, my grandma would have hit her purse. Grandma, I love you. You have inspired me, and I plan to continue to reach goals as you watch me from heaven. The second biggest accomplishment is that I've raised my son, who has never seen me loaded or drunk and has a role model today. I am breaking generational cycles of addiction and giving him a bright future by being a present parent. I want to thank April Burns, my co-parent, and the closest person that I've had throughout this journey. I'm going to miss you and Victoria dearly when I move. You guys have been our family, and your friendship is forever. Thank you, Solutions for Change, to all the staff, the entire community of the 12 Steps, my family, and Future Stitch. You guys loved me and accepted me until I could love myself. I want to thank the Albrecht family. What you guys do by coming to do What you guys do by bringing Bible study and food and fellowship is a perfect example of what this program teaches us to be of service. And I have learned a lot from you guys. I hope my son can grow up to be like your kids. I am now a happy and healthy, productive member of society, and I will use what I've learned to help others by inspiring, encouraging, and equipping those who come after me, and using Connect Trust Act to build meaningful relationships as I move forward on my journey to Oregon. I plan on being a pillar of recovery, and I will use these skills to build a program in Oregon because I think we need a solutions for change in every county. I'm going to be a servant leadership, and I plan to work in the recovery field and get involved in the community in Oregon. That's the community I destroyed, so that's my living amends. All the glory to God, because without my higher power and recovery, I will lose everything. Thank you, and Jamie, happy birthday.
Awesome. We're talking about that generational change, like we used to take from the community, and now look at us giving back. So that's a beautiful thing. Up next, we have our beautiful Lolly Miguel. You got it. Look it. You have tissues right here. You got water right here. You got it. You got it. You got your glass.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Eulalia, and I go by Lolly, Lollipop. Mother of 4, I came to Solutions May of 2022. Just a month before that, I was filled with worry about how I was going to afford to pay rent and where I was going to live. But why? I had a job since I was 16 years old. I never done drugs or alcohol. I went to church almost 3 times a week, but I still had a lot to learn. My journey became challenging during my last pregnancy. I had severe complications. My baby had to be delivered early to save his life. Caring for a premature baby while still recovering from a cesarean, that was hard. I was navigating motherhood around the clock. It took me 5 months to finally recuperate, to then get another surgery, gallbladder removal, when he was 5 months old. When my baby was about 6 months old, I came home from the store to find my daughter crying in the bathroom. With tears in her eyes, she grasped my hands and said, "I can't take this anymore." I found out my twin daughters had been molested. This hurt me way more than when that happened to me. I met this person at church. I was married for 11 years. That's when I realized it doesn't matter how many years I go to church, how many services I make it to. What really matters is the relationship I have with Jesus. I took action. It took us more than 2 years, court after court. He has been sentenced. The district attorney asked me how I was and what I needed. I told her my worries. How am I going to pay rent? Where am I going to live? Do not set your heart on what you will eat or drink. Do not worry about it. Luke 12:29. My faith was being tested. I stayed strong only with God's help. He took every tear, every prayer. He's been my rock, my firm foundation. I like to sing, praise him. For a moment, I couldn't. But now worshiping my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, gives me so much peace and joy. I needed to not worry about rent for a couple of months. I needed help to get back on my feet, start over from zero. So they told me about some resources that could help. Solutions sounded great. God was going to use solutions. I'd never participated in a program before. Everything was new and overwhelming. I often found myself feeling frustrated with all the rules, signing in and out, curfews, weekly drug tests. It was a lot for me. I remember pulling weeds one summer thinking, why do I feel so punished? I've never used a shovel in my life. Deep down, I knew I was there for myself and my children. I was safe, able to sleep, and didn't even have to worry about rent for a couple of months. That's exactly what I asked for, right? When classes began, I felt like it was an opportunity to take a time out. I remember praying and asking if this is where I belonged. As I listened to the stories my classmates would share, I learned that we all take different paths to cope with struggles. God was going to mold my character defects. I used to be very judgmental, thinking I was better than others because I didn't do what they did. If I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. 1 Corinthians 13:2. I learned to listen, very important. I learned the meaning of truly loving my neighbor. Love the Lord, your God, with all your heart and with all your strength and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Luke 10:27. The word was being a mirror. There's a lot to say about that, but there's no time for that. Several classes have made an impact on me. I learned about building better boundaries, emotional intelligence, concepts I've never encountered before. No one teaches you these things. Bible studies with Dennis was one of my favorites. Thanks to Calvary Chapel's Bible studies on Thursdays. Yes, thank you. I was able to feed my soul when I needed it the most. I know God is in control of my life. All things work together for good to those who love God. Being a Christian doesn't mean I'm perfect. It means I know I need Jesus every single day. His mercy is so big. The reason I'm standing here today. Thanks for the help I got from Solutions. I'm able to provide for my family as a single mom. We have our own little place. I have been blessed with a job where I can keep growing, and I aspire to earn my LVN license. And they feed me lunch 2 or 3 times a week. A special thank you to my coach, Shannon, always pushing me to get things done. Thank you to my sponsor, who has a very big heart. She wasn't able to be here today, but I thank her a lot. Thanks to my family and friends who have lended me a hand when I needed it the most. Thanks to my mom. And thanks to my aunt. Thank you to all the Solutions team for being part of my journey. Together we can continue to grow and support one another as we move forward. One last one to Chris. Proverbs 19:20. Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done. If I have God, I have everything. God bless you.
Patricia Paredes.
First of all, I want to thank Solutions for Change for all the time and money invested in me and for believing in me throughout my journey. Thank you, God, for my last chance, and thank you to all the volunteers and donors for making this program possible. Thank you, Mr. Chris, also. My name is Patricia Paredes. I'm 29 years old and came to Solutions for Change on March 28, 2022. I have 3 beautiful children, all under the age of 10. Matthew is 9, Brianna is 7, and Jeremiah will be 3 in November. When I entered Solutions for Change, I arrived alone into healing and retreat with none of my 3 children. I felt like everyone else in the house had their kids except me. I felt judged. There was a dark void in my heart. I was alone, so I thought. I have many reasons why I came into this program, but one of them was that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was in and out of jail constantly. I was tired of feeling like it was the end of the world. I came to Solutions to get my life back. I wanted to be an accepted member of society. I wanted my kids back, and I wanted to be that sober mom that all my kids needed me to be. I had no idea where to start. I've never been able to give that to any of my children, and I felt like this was the last opportunity that God was going to give me. I learned that it was either life or death. I was stuck in quicksand. I was frozen. God was giving me all the signs, and I was ignoring them. When I gave birth to Jeremiah on November 3rd, 2021, he was taken away at Palomar Hospital, and 1 week later, I overdosed on fentanyl and ended up in the hospital on November 10th. I was sedated for 16 days, and I was discharged on Friday, November 26th, and the following Monday, God told me to check myself into the Family Recovery Center. It took me about 9 months to get full custody of Jeremiah. I knew it was time for me to stop being that piece of crap that everybody knew about. I was sick of being a nobody, a homeless, an addict. I still didn't have Matthew or Brianna in my care. I remember having no goals and no life, and my dreams were dark to me. I didn't know the meaning of life, but I didn't want to find out either. I remember that I didn't care if I died from my active addiction. I didn't care who would cry for me. I felt worthless, and I felt like I didn't deserve to live anymore. At Solutions, I learned about the 13 servant leadership behaviors. I learned how to communicate better with others using these behaviors. I learned to say sorry only when I meant it, and I learned to stay in my own lane. Today, I have been clean for 2 years and 9 months. My coach, Justine, dedicated herself to me for over 2 years. She pushed me out of my comfort zone every week to deal with my problems. She made me make goals. She made me get my license reinstated and many other things. Thank you, Justine. Live my transformation. Get better. Continuously improve, increase my capabilities. I am a constant learner. I act on the feedback I receive. I thank people for their feedback. I don't assume today's knowledge and skills will be sufficient for tomorrow's challenges. Today, I am open-minded and willing to learn new things each day. Today, I am capable of asking for help and letting go of all of my pride. Today, I accept compliments and allow others to love me the honest way. We admitted that we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. During my extended stay at Solutions for Change, During my extended stay at Solutions for Change, my coach, Justine, pushed me to apply and return to school in April 2022. I received my GED in under 3 months from Vista Adult School. I needed 15 credits from high school to graduate. Justine and Mr. Dennis helped me get a referral to a special dentist to replace my 2 missing teeth in April 2023. In June 2023, I went to culinary school and completed a 6-month program. I received my baking and pastry art certificate. Another thing I have faced during my clean time is all the assigned court dates I needed to attend at the Vista Courthouse. During my first year at Solutions, the judge commended me and granted me early termination of my summary probation. He saw the change and he saw the good in me. This was the first of many times someone congratulated me for all of my hard work, completion of my 52 weeks of domestic violence classes, and dedication to staying away. One of the last things I'm very proud to have gained in my life during my programming at Solutions for Change is on Wednesday, October 17, 2024, last week, I was granted full-time custody of my older 2 children, Matthew and Brianna. I'm finally a full-time mom. I get up, suit up, and show up for my kids. We take them to school, we pick them up. None of this would have happened without the help of my mom, Patricia, being there full-time for more than 2 years. And before that, my Aunt Gabby and Uncle Fernando in Los Angeles for over a year. Corinne Blackmore helped me furnish my new apartment off-site to start my new journey as a full-time mom. Thank you, Corinne, and thank you, Mom. I am also a full-time employee at Fraser Farms Vista. I was promoted to be a front-end supervisor in less than 2 months of working there. I started as a part-time cashier, and I am now a proud front-end supervisor. You ask, what now after graduation? I will continue to go to my Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. I plan to work hard to continue my sobriety and clean time using my coping skills and my support system. And I will find the correct support for my 2 older children and assign them to therapy for all the trauma I put them through. Last but not least, I promise to myself that I will continue to make living amends with all of my extended family members, like my siblings and my parents, and I will continue to stay the active mom my children have always needed me to be. To Corinne Blackmore and Brittany Powers, yeah, we did.
Awesome. Karen Pownell, you got it. I got tissue.
I'm a mess right now.
I got tissue.
Thank
I got
you.
it.
Good
I'll
meeting.
sit- If you need me, I'm right here.
Testing. Okay. Hi, guys. Okay. Hey. My name is Karen Pownell. I have two sons, Cullen and Jace, and I arrived at Solutions for Change on September 12th, 2022. Today, I want to share with you a journey that spans decades, a story of resilience, redemption, and the power of hope. It's a journey that has brought me from a tumultuous childhood to a place of healing and purpose. I was born in Long Branch, New Jersey on September 27, 1983. My early years were marked by daily arguments between my parents, often escalating in physical abuse. Growing up, I never truly felt safe. Eventually, my parents would divorce, but the cycle of abuse continued to haunt me. My mother, a hardworking woman, struggled to support my brother and me. Her friend Liz helped out by babysitting us. She initially seemed kind, but turned out to be an abuser too, only to justify her actions with her religious beliefs. Life took a positive turn, though, when my mom met Rob. He treated my mom well and cared for me as if I was his own daughter. Shortly after they met, we moved to California to have a fresh start. California was a stark contrast to New Jersey, and I often felt out of place. I graduated from high school in 2001, attended community college while working 2 jobs, and began experimenting with drugs, dating. Unfortunately, my relationships were riddled with various forms of abuse. I was young and having fun. I would work and go out to bars with friends, just typical stuff for someone in their 20s. All that would change when I was date raped by a bar owner near my apartment. Despite reporting it to the police, justice eluded me. I stopped going to bars. I started isolating myself. The guilt and shame I felt consumed me. Nightmares and suicidal thoughts haunted me. To cope, I turned to methamphetamines, beginning a long and destructive habit. I became a functioning addict, numbing myself from past trauma, but I was merely running from one traumatic experience to another, enduring rape multiple times, robbery, abuse, and mistreatment. I found myself homeless, couch surfing, and holding on to toxic relationships. In a brief visit to jail, I prayed for guidance, desperate to change my life. God answered my plea when I discovered I was pregnant with Cullen. It was a job far greater than myself, and I stopped using drugs, dreaming of a better life. So I ran away from everything to start over in New Jersey, living with my dad and my Penny. Tragically, shortly after Cullen was born, his father, Luis, was murdered here in San Diego, and the guilt consumed me. As depression and anxiety held hands skipping in the meadow together, I focused on Cullen and went back to school to become a medical assistant and start working in a doctor's office. I was really getting my life together, and I felt accomplished. A few years later, I met Jimmy, who initially seemed like a nice guy, but later revealed his manipulative and abusive nature. We had a child, Jace, and my hope for a real family dwindled. I broke it off with him and moved back to San Diego for a fresh start. Or maybe you could say I was just running again. But a year later, I was back on my feet and doing well when Jimmy showed up begging to be a part of Jace's life. I let that guilt from losing Luis cloud my judgment, and I gave him another chance. However, reuniting with Jimmy proved disastrous, leading to further emotional and physical abuse. I began using drugs again to cope after being clean for 8 years. Then COVID-19 trapped me further in the toxic environment. My downward spiral resulted in losing custody of my children. Guilt and shame consumed me as I descended further into self-destruction. And on Mother's Day weekend 2022, I reached my breaking point. I missed my kids, my mom, and my family. While contemplating suicide with a knife in my hand, I wondered how long it would take for someone to find me or if they'd even care. Then I heard a strong voice tell me to get up and seek help. I know today that that voice was God, and I followed that voice, which led me back to my mom. I admitted I was powerless and I needed help. I went to Family Recovery Center on May 16th, 2022, and there I began my new journey. I was reunited with my oldest son, Cullen. I learned about Solutions for Change, a 2-year transformation academy, and decided to do whatever it took to regain custody of all my children. I started ERT and quickly became a Phase 2A lead in a boot, if you guys remember, and then an inside lead. During my time at Solutions, I've learned so much about who I really am and what I'm capable of. I learned to trust myself and others again. I've learned about the 9 principles and 13 behaviors of 13 leadership that I apply in every aspect of my life. I learned to get up, suit up, and show up every day for myself and my kids. With determination, I worked my program, and on February 10th, 2023, Chase was returned to my care for a 60-day trial. I called my dad in New Jersey to let him know the good news and told him about everything I was doing and everything I was learning. I apologized to him for allowing my life to become such a mess. My dad told me he loved me and that he was proud of me, and he always knew that I could do it. But he asked when I could come and visit with the kids. He was really sick, battling kidney failure and on dialysis, and I asked him to hold on just a little bit longer until my CWS case was closed, and then I could ask to visit. Tragedy struck just weeks after that conversation when he got COVID for the first time and passed away suddenly on March 20th. The Solutions staff, my community, my family, they supported me through one of my hardest losses I've ever had yet. On May 3rd, 2023, my CWS case was closed and Jace was placed permanently back in my care. I have 2 years, 5 months, and 8 days clean and sober today. I am once again a mother to my 2 incredible sons, Cullen and Jace. They have been thriving in the stability that we now have. I have hope for their future, but my journey isn't over. It's just beginning. I've been strengthening my spiritual connection. I'm breaking the chains of generational curses, and I'm learning to forgive myself and others. Today, I'm healing from a lifetime of trauma, learning to love myself, and setting healthy boundaries. The classes at Solution helped me see the world differently and allowed me to become the change I wanted to see. I enjoyed building better boundaries with Tina, Coda with Justine. My favorites were everything taught by Mr. Dennis. Thank you so much. Emotional intelligence, communications, that knowledge I carry with me every single day. A predictive index test showed that I'm innately altruistic, which means I naturally have a selfless concern for others, which led me down the career path to become a peer support specialist. A peer support specialist uses their own experience in mental health and addiction to work with others who have faced the same adversities and are fighting to get their lives back together. I took the 80-hour training course and I sat for my state exam, which I passed. Today, I work for McAllister North Coastal Women's Recovery Center. Woo! I work alongside really amazing women who support me every day, accept me for who I am without judgment, and treat me with respect. And they feed me. I moved into my own apartment with both of my boys. I got my driver's license back and I bought a car. Her name's Vivi, in case you guys want to know. Learning hasn't stopped for me. I completed a 6-week women's empowerment workshop called Leap to Confidence, and I've become a community partner with them, now referring other women who are suffering from domestic violence, and so they can get confidence too and be empowered. Because of that community partnership, they offered me a 10-month transformational leadership scholarship, which I just started this month. I am of service through the fellowship of NA GSR for my home group meeting. My story has really just begun. Solutions for Change has invested in me in a way that no one else ever had. I actually see a future for myself and my children because of the safety net that I was so blessed to fall into. I would just like to take a moment to individually address the people that helped support me to get me to this place. First and foremost, God, for saving me from the darkness and bringing me back into the light. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, and I will hold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41:10. I'd like to thank my firstborn son, Cullen. Thank you for believing that our family could be put back together. You have been with me every step of this journey, and this graduation is for you too. Also my sweet baby angel, Jace. I would like to thank my mom and Rob for showing me the tough love I needed to pick myself up again. And thank you for taking care of Cullen when I couldn't, and all your love and support. Penny, I hope you're still watching and live streaming, but thank you for supporting me and believing I could, regardless of the situation and no matter the distance between us. My dad, I know your spirit is with me every day. I love you and I miss you. I hope they're also watching live stream, but my brother Chet and my sister Anna, thank you for your long distance love and support. My best friend Misty, to 29 years of never giving up on one another, words can't express it enough. I love you. Jace's foster moms, Monica and Priscilla, I'm so incredibly blessed to have received the support and love from you during this journey and beyond. We are family for life. I appreciate you more than words can say. My Solutions family, my coach Shannon, no one understands me better than you. Thank you for your loving guidance through this journey. Thank you for validating and empowering me daily. Justine, you weren't my coach, but I learned so much from you, and thank you. Miss Monica, for all your love and support. Brittany, Corinne, and Tim, I've always felt loved, accepted, and appreciated in your presence, so thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Every time my life was in major crisis, you would magically appear as if there was a bat signal. Thank you, Jennifer. Esme and Aurora, girl, you already know. To my FRC sisters, Mariah and my wifey, Whitney, I love you guys. And to the 5 amazing women sharing the stage tonight, I'm honored to share this evening with you and this journey of transformation, and I can't wait to see what our future holds. My McAllister family, Ricky and Nina, woo! You welcomed me like I was family on day one. We laugh together, you laugh at me, I laugh at you. It's really perfect. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me. Natalie from Leap to Confidence, thank you so much for your love and support. I know you're here somewhere. I can't tell. There you are. And last but not least, thank you to Chris Megason and Solutions for Change. God bless you.
Last but certainly not least, Ashley Ramshaw.
Oh, thank you. Woo. This is a beautiful crowd. Woo. Okay. It is bright. Good evening. Before I begin, I'd like to honor God by thanking Him for what He has allowed me to learn and go through and the opportunity to serve Him, trust Him, and follow Him. I'd also like to thank Jesus for being my strong tower and refuge, and the Holy Spirit for His unwavering comfort and guidance. My name is Ashley Ramshaw, and I'm gratefully honored to be standing before you this evening. I have one incredible son, Roman, who is a thriving 9-year-old in 3rd grade. Today is more than my graduation. It's a celebration of resilience, faith, and determination, and my belief in one's right to quality of life. Over the past 2.5 years, I have overcome incredible obstacles. As a former Marine Corps spouse of 15 years, I had moved over 25 times and lived on the East Coast, West Coast, and Gulf Coast twice, meaning I had lapped this country 2 times before I came to Solutions for Change. When my son turned 5, he had already lived in 8 homes in 4 different states. When he was 1 year old, I had suffered a miscarriage, and we were abandoned for 6 months while I went through that alone. I was so traumatized by that experience and the domestic violence in the marriage that upon my second surgery from that, I had pushed myself out of anesthesia and fear of something happening to me. What then would happen to my son, and who would he be left with? In New Year's Eve 2017, I called a women's shelter while we were stationed in North Carolina. And I started to connect the dots on the domestic violence I had been living with, and that the veil of abuse, like carbon monoxide, was starting to thin, and reality was sinking in. I was ready to start receiving change, and God sent me a video from a well-known speaker, Lisa Nichols. She spoke about her non-negotiables. I then made a decision and left, not realizing I had tried many times before. However, due to financial abuse and a son with special needs, I couldn't make it on my own, so the cycle continued one last time as we moved to California on military orders in August of 2019. I was able to be there for my son, but it came at a high cost. I came from a childhood that involved a different school nearly every school year and parents with significant mental health and toxicity. My mother had lied and falsified school documents to get me into another new school, but the results of our lack of education put a sibling and I having to repeat the grades the same year in middle school. While I was repeating 8th grade, my mother cut my hair to look like a boy. She never put me in high school and told me I would have to get my GED, which I did at 23. I left that life 2 weeks after turning 19 to change my family tree. I remember asking myself, life doesn't have to be so hard. Why is it hard for my family? That question and a strong belief in one's right to quality of life became a journey to answer. Unfortunately, even though I left that life at 19 and without the tools I have now, I walked into a marriage that was a replica of what I fought to leave in the first place. For years, I was trapped in a cycle of codependency and domestic violence stemming from childhood into adulthood. The severity of abuse became so intense that in combination of that with societal beliefs and spiritual abuse from unhealthy faith-based organizations, I was on the brink of losing myself and my mind completely. I reached a breaking point when I realized that staying meant losing myself entirely, and I watched as I saw my son suffering alongside me. We went to a women's shelter, then onto hotel vouchers, then to a homeless shelter. At the women's shelter above each room filled with bunk beds was a statement word for encouragement. Ours said resilient. When I was told about Solutions for Change, I went every Friday and called to let them know I needed their services. Having never programmed before or ever even hearing about it, I knew I needed to be rehabilitated, and what they had, I wanted. Thankfully, on September 11th, 2022, my son and I started our journey at Solutions. We had arrived with more court papers than clothes and only one laundry basket to hold them. Half of that laundry basket held mine and the other half my son's. I thought there was a picture of the shelter we were at. During our time at Solutions, I was diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and PTSD twice. And my son was diagnosed with a trauma disorder and was in trauma therapy for a year. Had I known there was a community there ready to catch me, I would have taken that leap of faith sooner. 2.5 years ago, I came to the edge of a cliff on my life and I jumped. Faith not only caught me, it carried me into my new life. During my time at Solutions, I couldn't believe I found a community like me who were determined to rewrite their stories and brave enough to face it and go for the life they also knew existed for them. Solutions taught me that smart trust in conjunction with servant leadership principles are a measuring tool on character for myself and others. Am I practicing accountability, demonstrating respect, and creating transparency? Are others around me doing the same thing? Servant leadership gave me the tools to take the vice off of my voice and rebuild my trust in myself and exercise smart trust with others. I carry servant leadership with me and practice it personally and professionally. A beautiful lesson I learned during my time in recovering from domestic violence is that life is like art. Each of our lives reflects the work of an artist, shaping who we are through the lives we've lived. And like a piece of art in a museum, when others view your life, they'll have opinions and interpretations. But the beauty lies in the unique creation itself, imperfections and all, that make it that much more rare yet relatable. I've come to see the beauty in my own journey, just as I do in others. Today, I work as a legal advocate, helping others navigate their legal cases and rebuild their lives just as I did. Okay. You gotta dust the shoulders off a little bit, okay. A recent statistic shared that the largest growing demographic in the homeless community across the country is women over the age of 55. My oldest client as of today will be 65 in January and is a survivor of domestic violence. As I help my clients prepare their documents and attend court with them, they become empowered and are winning for what can be the first time in their life. I've had amazing mentors throughout my transformation. I've adopted this saying, it can take 20 years to figure out how to get it done in 20 minutes. That's the knowledge I pass on to my clients. Additionally, I often say you have to choose your hard. I knew what the long-term hard would look like. I'm so glad I made the temporary hard investments in myself for a long-term return of what I knew existed for me and my son. It took me 2 years of rehabilitation to now sit 2 feet on the other side of a desk that I once cried at, and now I'm helping others. Whew. I am in school with a 4.0 GPA. I am attending an open house at a law school next month. My son doesn't have to change school every school year like I did, and he's in a consistent routine with people we trust and who support us. He has won several awards at school. I've spoken as a keynote speaker and taken on leadership roles, balancing my 2 jobs, my education, and my responsibility. I also work at the police department at school. I think I forgot to put that in there. Yeah. I have paid off over $35,000 in debt and legal fees, reclaimed my independence, and helped my son thrive. As I look forward, I feel immense gratitude for the journey that brought me here. Solutions for Change and the community we have gave me the tools to rebuild my life. We have a responsibility to one another in life, and we cannot do life alone. It takes a village, but it takes the right village. I want to thank everyone who believed in me, especially during the times I struggled to believe in myself. This moment is for anyone who's felt overwhelmed or defeated. Your story is not over, and you have the power to change your life just as I did. And to my son who's not here, he's outside playing, I love you. And thank you for trusting me and for trusting God to get us where we are today. Thank you, and thank you for being here this evening.
So we just we don't hoard. We just heard 6 amazing, beautiful ladies share their story. We heard stories of pain and loss and devastation, and a lot of just hurt. And we also heard the other side of redemption and faith and promise. And thank you guys for trusting us and letting your guards down and being the amazing human beings that you've been able to transform into. Not that you weren't before, but we just provide the platform, and you guys are so beautiful, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Okay, so and on top of your plaques and recognition, you guys got 3 certificates of commendations. 3 certificates from, and can you believe it, you guys? So let me tell you who they're from. So you have a certificate of special recognition from Representative Mike Levin, and he's a member of Congress. And it's, yeah. And it says, in celebration of graduation from the Solutions Academy, by completing this program, you have demonstrated incredible commitment to your future and building lifelong success. Congratulations on this significant achievement, and we wish you all the best. That's number 1. Sorry. Yeah. The second certificate of commendation is from San Diego County Supervisor Jim Desmond of the 5th District. He said, "It is with great pleasure that I extend my congratulations to," well, this is Tara Benders, but it's y'all, for the successful completion of and graduation from the Solutions for Change program. Your dedication, commitment, and hard work should be commended and demonstrates exceptional leadership within the community. Best wishes for your continued success. And then we have, I just read that one, just kidding. And then we have the state senator, who is Catherine Blakespear. In honor of your graduation from the Solutions for Change Academy, this achievement is a testament to your resiliency and determination to overcome adversity. We wish you the very best. So this is amazing from people that, have taken from society to have recognition from really leaders in the community that really believe and want the best for you guys. So I will call you up to accept your plaques. So let's start with Tara.
Sure.
Lolly Miguel. Up next, we have Patricia Paredes. Karen Pownell. And again, last but certainly not least, Ashley Ramshaw.
Oh, that's okay. It'll come off.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you.
Let's give them all a big round of applause. Our fall 2024 graduates. So we're going to close out in just a minute here. We close out with a little quick ceremony. We call it the Circle of Promise. We've been doing it for 25 years. Before we do that, though, I want to define the word overcomer. So there's a lot of programs out there that help people in need. They do a lot of really cool things. A few years ago, we changed our mission statement. We took the word homeless out of it. Well, why would we do that? Why would Solutions for Change, an organization dedicated to solving family homelessness, take the word homeless out of our mission statement? Well, the way we look at it is this. The entire system has systematized and operationalized around this idea of if you take a homeless person, by the nature of the word homeless, and you provide them a door to go behind, i.e. a new home, that's the solution, by and large. There's some exceptions to it. I think what you just all saw tonight and heard tonight, there is no question. This is so much more than just not having a home. So much more. In fact, all the things that we heard tonight, the reason why these amazing women have got the life that they have, which, by the way, includes a home, is because they've solved the underlying causative issues that led to all the loss. Amen? Amen. And so when we say, I know it sounds a little mafiosos when I say we make overcomers. Like you're made, right? But we make overcomers. I love that because in the Marine Corps, the mission was simple: make Marines, win battles. And I feel today, more than I've ever have in my 32 years of serving in this space, that with you, together with you, and with the amazing parents and families that we have here, we're making overcomers, and we're crushing the churn of dependency and addiction and all the things that cause a person to come through our doors to begin with. We make overcomers. And I want to just say one last thing about what an overcomer is. Did you notice that every one of these women today, it's not just that Solutions helped them go from point A to point B, and now they got a home and they've got sobriety, which is really cool. Every one of them are giving back to society. Did you hear that? Every one of them are serving for the sake of others. Everyone. They're doing it in such amazing, amazing ways. They're servant warriors. They're servant leaders in our community. To go from where they came from to where they are today is absolutely incredible. And just you help us do that. You help us do that. You do that with us. Not long ago, the taxpayer did it with us too. And I just want you to know that that promise that I started and I made 25 years ago, that now Jennifer makes and Dennis makes and every one of the staff here make, that promise means something to us. We had to give up every single federal and state dollar in order to stay true to our mission of serving them with a drug-free community. Every dollar we gave up because the decision was to allow active drug use in our places, to scrap, I mean eliminate, our workforce training requirements. Stop it, all of it. That was the requirement by the federal government and the state government and the county, and we declined all of it. And to this day right now, we have given up $83 million in taxpayer-funded resources. Why? Because of them. And because of them, and because of you, and because of everyone involved in Solutions for Change, because we would not bend the knee. We would not bend the knee, because we bend the knee, we don't do what you see here today. And so I just want you to hear that because, well, for one, I'm Chris Megason, and every time I get a chance to say something like this to a crowd of people, I am going to say it, right? I'm going to say it, and I'm going to thank you for standing by us. It's our 25th year. Because of you, many of the people in this room, outside of this room, people that are listening to that Facebook Live, if it's still live, right? Every one of you I have so much gratitude for and so much respect for you have stayed with us to allow us to do this for these women here tonight and their 14 kids. That's 20 souls that have been transformed. And I'll close with saying, I want that relationship back with the taxpayer. We want it back. My board members want it back. My staff wants it back. I want it back. I just don't want it back with those strings where we have to run taxpayer-funded drug housing. Come on now, man. Look at what we can do. And so, write the congressman's office, write the state senator's office, write the county board of supervisors' office, and tell them that what you saw here tonight warrants taxpayer funding. It's just that we're not going to take the funding with the strings. That's the end of my commercial. I know the Mayor Rebecca Jones, she's nodding right now. Yep, that's Chris. And we're going to close with our circle of promise. And here's how it works. The way it works is we have new families, new moms and dads of Solutions for Change that just joined us. So you heard many of the moms here that came in from like May to like November of 2022. We have moms and dads that have just joined us here these last few months. And we're going to ask all of them to come up right here in front. I want you to come on up right now. Don't make me sick Jennifer after you. We know who you are. We know who you are. I want you to come on up here. And I want you to get in a little circle right here, right up in front right here. A little circle right here. Yeah. And don't be shy. These are just the new folks, the ones that have just come. Yep. Don't be shy. Yep. You're going to get into a little circle right here. Come on. I know you guys can do this. These are the ones that just got here, not the ones that have been around. Mariah, you've been here too long. Yeah. These are just the ones that just got here. Okay? Yeah. Okay. But each one of these parents here have recently made a decision. What they've said is I'm ready. I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I want to be part of the Solutions for Change community. I want to be part of this thing that you guys are talking about here. I want this Jennifer Pankey person to magically appear when somebody rings a bell and says, I'm here for you. I want to be I want to become an overcomer. Each one of them made this decision. Now I'm going to ask all the graduates of Solutions for Change to come up, and you're going to put hands on the shoulders of all the moms and dads that have just recently come in. If you're a graduate overcomer, including the ones that just graduated, come on up and circle around the inner circle, and put your hands on their shoulders. And it's really important, you got hands on shoulders, right? You got to get the hands on the shoulders. Yep, go all the way around. These are the graduates, the overcomers, the ones that have completed Solutions for Change. The outer circle now is all the rest of the community, and this is really important. I know it's a little wonky doing it here in this kind of auditorium style, but if you could start the circle here, and Chris Chen will start it, and he'll put his hand on a shoulder right here, and then just follow. We invite all of you, and please join with us. You don't have to, but we really want you to. And we're going to do a whole circle around the whole outside to where it comes here. So anyone else that's in our programs and all of our community here, just a big circle around, and we just want to make sure that it all touches, right? That we have it connected together. So help them out, Jennifer. Get them to where they can. We want to, I know it's going to be a little crowded, but we want to just get a whole big circle around everybody. Just get in there and get your hands on people, right? People aren't going to look at you funny, you know. We're Solutions for Change, so all right. So we call this the circle of promise. And for 3 decades now, I've closed our graduations, 25 years here and then 7 years running another nonprofit to help homeless men. We close the graduations with the circle. It signifies a community connected and a promise to do better and to be better as one us. The circle has 3 parts. It has the inner circle of our newly arrived parents that have just made a decision to join our community here at Solutions for Change. It's got a tight circle around them of our graduate overcomers, the ones that have already been through our program, the ones that have faced down their fears, the ones that have said, I'm ready and I'm going to do this. The large outer circle of guests and attendees represent the spirit of one us. We call this the circle of promise, and we're going to close out right now. And after we close, I just invite everybody. We have refreshments, coffee, and I think there's some cookies out there and stuff. And we always close with the Lord's Prayer, and I always ask a graduate. Usually it's a graduate that's been around for a while. And since Tina has about 15 years or so, we'll ask Tina to close us out in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil. Thine is the power and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you all for coming and being part of our graduation. I hope to see you again.